Ah,
Hello.
hello.
Bonjour, bienvenue. We are glad to have you here. I'm Shari, as most of you know. And with me today, I have the lovely Gertrude Hsu. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was how, but I have a faculty member whose last name is Hsu,
Ah,
spelled the same way. And she's also from Malaysia.
yes.
So that's why I was like, I wonder if y'all are related. But so I was hoping I had it correct when I said it. Um, anyway, we've got a couple people in here with us. I'm excited, considering that we're up against two or three other bigger channels that are all live right now. So
Ah,
we'll be fighting for viewers. I didn't think about that when I
yeah.
scheduled the time. I forgot that there were several other channels that usually go live about this time on Saturday. So, but that's okay. We're going to do what we do. Yeah, see, Mark just went live. Oh, it just popped up. I went live. Very good. And so, Gertrude, tell us a little bit about yourself. You said you used to be a nun.
So, what would you like to know about?
I know that you said in one of your videos that you used to be a nun
Oh, yes.
and now you're not.
Yes.
Was there a reason for that, or just got tired of being a nun? I mean, I've never been a nun, so I don't know.
Yeah. You know, let me try one thing because I can't hear you very.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me in chat? Because I've got
Yeah.
everything like maxed out full volume here,
Oh,
and
okay. So,
Gertrude
yeah.
can't hear
So
me.
I can. Yeah. So what happened was I was 17, quite young when I decided I wanted to be a nun, and
Wow.
then my family they weren't for it, but I insisted I have to become an enclosed nun or I will never be happy. I just have that thought. So I entered a month after I left school, and I was very happy there the first 8 years. It was everything I wanted. I entered to find God, and I found God, and but I think I just was not meant to be there,
Yeah.
because after 8 years, I started getting restless. And then, so when I was 28, I left. And I was only trained to meditate. So I really couldn't take care of myself. And somebody gave me my late husband's photo and address. I thought, oh, America, the land of the free. So I just corresponded with
Supposedly.
him, flew over to US on tourist visa, and that was how I come here.
Okay. Are you still married?
Yes, I got married, and then 2011 he passed away from Lou Gehrig disease.
Oh, I'm so
Yes,
sorry to hear that.
and after that, I did, I had to like sell a house or get to work. So I trained a CNA caregiver, so I worked for 10 years. And then October last year, I retired.
Okay, very good. CNA is an important job. I worked in the medical field for 30 years before I switched to the academic field. Now I work at a university. Um, but it was always in the administration,
Ah,
secretarial work.
yeah.
I was a phlebotomist for 14 years. I used to
Ah,
draw blood
really?
from people. But I got tired of getting bled on and thrown up on. So I switched to the administrative side, and I did that for a long time until I got hurt. I was injured on the job and became disabled. And at the time, I was my husband was still alive at the time. He was disabled, and so it was two disabled people trying to take care of each other.
Yeah.
It didn't work very well sometimes. Sometimes it did, but sometimes it didn't. I'm still trying to adjust my camera. There we go. That's a little better. But yeah, so CNA is, I've had several friends that's what they do, or that's what they did, was CNA work.
Well, I did in-home services. So I go to people's house,
Right.
and take care of the elderly one-on-one.
There you go.
Yes. And so after I retired, no, that was before. So around more than 2 years ago, I got on YouTube and looked for psychic readers. That was how I came across Diane's tarot.
She was the first one I found.
Yeah.
When I went on YouTube right after the lockdown. And I was just bored. And I was just like channel surfing, trying to find what was out there. And one of her videos popped up on my YouTube feed. And I thought, political tarot? I didn't know they did such things. And I watched it and I was hooked. I love Diane. She was the first one that I saw. And from her led me to others, which eventually led me to having my own channels. So it took a while, but it's all thanks to her.
So what happened was, I really love her, and she, she's very genuine. And then I found out she channeled an ET, and at that time I just didn't want to have anything to do with ETs. So I canceled my membership, and then I decided I was going to just get out of everything. But there was one Ra Ha Sha live, so I thought I would just stay for this one, and then I will leave. And when I was there, he was taking questions. So I asked a question about this force in my head, and he took my question. So I remember thinking, tell me something, like anything that will make me stay, or I'm just going to leave this entire field. And so that was when he told me that I was going through an amazing awakening, that I had other reincarnations where I had awakened before. And then he said, it's very rare because it's mainly for ascended masters. And then he told me this force in my head was the ascended masters trying to push me up a level higher. And that answer, it just blew me away. And so I stayed, I not only stayed, I had sessions with him. And so a year ago, May 2021, he asked me to channel him. So that is how I come to be here.
Yeah.
Not for Ra Ha Sha, I won't be doing my YouTube channel, and I won't be here.
Yeah.
So April, he started coming after me to start my YouTube channel. I resisted, but I could do it. So I tried and I did it. And then 2 months ago, he started on me to start doing collaboration. And that was really hard. I fought it for 2 months. So the last time I saw him, I thought maybe I could tell him that, I'm not ready for it yet. But he still wants me to do it. So I thought, if he wants me to do it, I have to be able to do it. I have to be ready to do it. Yeah. And then you contacted me, which is great. And I have 2 more coming out in this August I have two coming out in the next week and the week after.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, I saw you in the chat on a couple of shows that I was doing on other people's channels. And you were
Yes.
always so nice and so pleasant. And one day, I saw you in chat and somebody said something about your channel. And you said, yeah, I was trying to get that put together. And so I went, oh, I'm going to go check that out. So I went and looked, and sure enough, there was your channel. So I subscribed and I saw all your videos on channeling. And I went like backed up to the very beginning one, and I started watching several of them. And it just really was interesting to me because I don't know anything about channeling really. I know basically what it is, but I've never done it. And I just thought, well, it would be nice to get her to come on and talk about it and explain kind of what it is and how you do it. I mean, there's probably a lot of folks like me out there that don't know anything about channeling. And
Yes.
maybe they're just waiting for someone to explain it in order for them to realize that they can channel.
Well,
So,
with Ra Ha Sha, he is very interested in helping us. First off, Ra Ha Sha is actually a collective of 20 million. And as Diane's tarot explained, she couldn't see herself talking to these 20 million of beings. So she asked one of them to step forward, and that was Ra Ha Sha. So when she channeled him, she sees him and his collective as one being, but it's actually a whole collective of 20
different
million.
20 million. Okay, I knew it was
Yes.
a bunch, but I didn't know how many. So
anyone interested in, having sessions with him, just go to
Diane's Tarot.
dianeaquarius.com
Yeah.
and then go to the homepage. No, the booking doesn't show.
Oh, for her website. Right. Yeah.
Her website, and then
And you can see her website on her YouTube channel. If you go to her YouTube channel and you click on her about page, she's got her website and everything. Listen, I've already been there. Like I said, Diane was the first person I found. And so, I was just, at the time, I couldn't afford to join or do anything. So I just watched everything that was free and tried to learn that way. And,
so on her homepage, if you scroll right at the bottom, there is ET channeling on Zoom. So that will be channeling Ra Ha Sha.
Right.
So that's how to get sessions. So I got several sessions through her with Ra Ha Sha. And that's how I come to be channeling Ra Ha Sha.
That's neat. That is just so cool. Mark Spirit Whisperer, the one I was telling you that channels Pan, and he did a reading on me a couple of weeks ago. And during the reading, he started channeling Pan, started talking through him to me. And then Pan told him, tell her that she can talk to me directly. She can channel me. And it kind of caught me off guard because I was like, I don't know how to do that. So now I'm trying to learn, how do you channel? What are the steps? I'm very analytical in that way. I want to know step 1, step 2, step 3, what do you do? And so I'm trying to learn so that I can talk to Pan myself. And because I think that's fascinating to be able to do that. And then I saw you, and you were channeling Ra, and I thought, oh my goodness, another chat. This is like 2 people channeling that's I've suddenly come across in a very short period of time. And so I was like, well, I have to get Gertrude to come on the show and talk about it. So, and then the fact that you were channeling through Diane, the Ra, and I just adore Diane. I thought that is really cool. So
Yeah, someone is asking about Ra Ha Sha. Yes,
Ra Ha Sha.
Ra Ha Sha, the ET channel by Diane.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
did ask
it's
Diane when he
they're
asked me.
extraterrestrial beings, Tracy. Yes.
Yeah. So I did ask Diane if it's okay, and she said, "Oh, it's fine." And then she said, "The more, the merrier."
Yeah.
So it is the Ra Ha Sha channel by Diane. Tracy Roth asked, "Did you say Ra Ha Sha is ET?" Yes, extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Yes, from the
In
Ra
fact,
Collective, but not
I'm
the
going
Ra
to.
Collective with the Law of One. Is from the same Ra Collective, just a different sub. Ra Ha Sha is subgroup 1, and that collective is subgroup 7.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he
Hi,
always
Sharon. So yeah, I just put Diane's link up for her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So that way, she can people can go to her channel, look for her website, go to the website, and learn more about it. And she has quite a few videos for her members on her YouTube that you can go in and watch, where she channels, and she has some of them that are free for those that are just subscribed but can't afford to be a member yet. So those are the ones I've seen are the free ones. And Sharon, my darling, you're now going to be a moderator because I don't know what happened last go round. It didn't take when I tried to make you one. If anybody else wants to be a mod, just say the word and I'll throw a wrench at you. So what do you do when you're getting ready to channel? What are your steps?
So usually what I do, so the whole year that I have been training myself to channel Ra Ha Sha, I use mainly meditation. So I would do an hour a day, but after I retired, I do like 2 to 3 hours a day.
I'm lucky
because
if I can do 5 minutes.
Diane told us, and Ra Ha Sha told us also, that if we were to channel him, we have to be able to wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. and do our meditation. And Diane told us that it's a lifestyle. And one of the things is to go meatless. Ra Ha Sha doesn't like meat at all because for him, meat is suffering. The meat that we eat, the cow, the chicken, right. So it's suffering. And so that is another one. And Diane always tells us that it's a lifestyle. So I pretty much dedicated my whole life to training myself how to channel him. So what I do is in meditation, of course, first I do the prayer of protection, and then I open my channel, and then I ask him to come into me and take me over. So a few months ago, I could feel him entering me and taking me over. It's a very, as he says, subtle feeling, but very nice. So I recognize the feeling. But like for the past week, almost as soon as I get into meditation, I could feel him taking me over. It's like first I get into a state of trance, and then almost like out of body, and then I can really feel him taking me over. And I have managed to, trans channel him a few times, but I'm not there yet. So I'm still training. He told me I could do it, that I have everything in me to channel him the way Diane does, channeling him live. But I'm not there yet. So I'm still practicing on that.
Yeah, it takes it. I figured it would take time. I mean,
yes,
because one, I'm trying to get past 5 minutes of meditating. My brain is like constantly going and trying to just be still and be quiet to meditate is very hard for me because I'm a multitasker. I'm used to doing 10 things at once, constantly going. And that's my first step, is that I'm trying to learn how to meditate, how to make my mind quiet. And it's a lot harder for some of us than it is for others. And getting up at 3 a.m., we're all going to have to wait because that's not happening with me. I usually go to bed at 3 a.m. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. I have to get up at 5 every day, go to work.
Yeah.
So, because
So,
I still work full time.
Yeah. Indigo Chrysalis Tarot is asking, isn't that possession? Yes.
In a way,
I trust him completely. And I know there are channelers not comfortable with possession. But I expressly want that. So I asked him to come and take me over. And he does. So now it's getting to where when he takes me over, I go into a complete altered state where there is, just like trance, and then almost like out of body feeling, and I could feel him taking me over. And I really like that. It's a really nice feeling because he is from the angelic realm, so his energy is very, Diane used the word euphoric. It's a very gentle, loving, and it's like having a spiritual experience. It's just like,
right.
Yes. So
that's how I felt when I was introduced to Pan, and he was talking to me through Mark. It was just that feeling of, it felt like somebody wrapping their arms around you and hugging you.
Yes.
Is what it felt like.
Yes.
And I didn't know if it was just that particular entity that was talking to me, or if all of them you feel that way. I didn't know. So
I think what it is their energy. It's like their energy embracing us. So it does feel like an embrace of sorts.
I'm chatting while I'm listening.
So how interesting that you have the same experience, because when he asked me to channel him, it really blew my mind away.
Yeah, well, that was me when Mark was channeling Pan, talking to me.
Yeah.
And he channels too. He channels Pan, and I can't pronounce the other one's name. He calls him DK. D is in David, K is in kite. He just calls him by the initials because his name is really hard to pronounce. And both of them came through during the reading. So he was channeling both of them, one after the other. Excuse me. And sorry, I get really gravelly. Both of them told him that I had been invited to channel them directly. And so I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know how to do that, and Mark was just like, just take your time. You'll figure it out. Everyone's process is a little different, is how he put it.
Yeah.
So Mark seems to just, on a whim, boy, he can just pop right in and Pan is there talking, But it's just strange. I was just 2 weeks ago that happened. And then a couple of days later, I saw you in the chat and you were talking about it. And I was like, went to your channel, it saw some of your videos, and it was like, oh, she's got to come talk to me so we can find out what this is. It was just too much of a coincidence of everything happening all at once. I have allergies. My eyes tear up really bad. And it's year round. I've always had it. It makes my eyes, I have what they call ocular high pressure in my eyes, which causes them to be very dry, which makes them overproduce tears.
Yes.
Which makes them more dry. Go figure that one out.
Yeah.
So I have to use medicated drops in my eyes.
I have the same problem. I use the artificial tears twice a day.
Yeah, I use I guess I'm doing an ad for them, huh? I use the, I don't know if you,
yes, Systane. That's what I use.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good stuff.
That's the one my eye doctor has me using. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Ivana's here.
Oh, there is Ivana Intuitive. Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you, Heather. I couldn't remember how to say the name. Yeah, I just found it all so very interesting. And
well, obviously they can hear you okay because nobody is complaining. So
yeah,
it's my iPad. I put the volume on high.
You might have to go to earbuds. Start using do you have an iPad or just another tablet?
Oh, yes.
Is it an iPad?
Okay, so.
Or is it like just a regular
iPad,
tablet?
Yeah. So that's the next thing I have to buy.
You'd probably have to get you some iPad earbuds. And that way you'll hear it better. Because the speakers in the little tablets aren't as good as say the ones on your computer. They're not as loud. So that could be why you're having trouble hearing. That and I tend to. Okay, everybody's saying they hear us both great.
Yes. So I have to get that. There's so much to learn.
So pardon me, I can't talk and type at the same time. I can listen and type at the same time, but I can't talk and type.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we seem to be doing pretty good here. How many people we got? Wow, I got 12 folks in here. I'm excited. I didn't think I'd get that many. So do you when you start the channel, do they just show up or do you have to ask for them?
So that's a tricky thing because I always imagine like Susan Glisman, where she talks about being in a circle with her friends and this voice came through and told him speaking, and then before she knew it, he was speaking through her in a kind of German or Russian accent. I don't remember. So I thought it's something like that, but no, it is when he speaks, it's like my voice. Except from what he says, I know it doesn't come from me because I don't talk that way. So it's almost like, when we get messages, it seems like it comes from our head, but we know the message comes from them.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
you hear yourself, but it's not you talking. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about it in chat? I feel like I'm Hog and Gertrude all to myself. If y'all have any questions, put them in. I think we're going I think we're small enough. I can probably catch them. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's it. So Ivana asked, does it take a long time to get a
Okay,
message? Or
that's a good one.
so what I do, pretty much no, because I'm not there yet. Diane can do it instantaneously, you know,
Right.
but I'm not there yet. So I ask a question and then I go into silence, inner silence, and then I wait for the answer to come through. So for me, it takes a while. That's why, I'm still training.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what I am working towards, like,
Right.
Diane.
Because I know the few videos I've seen of Diane channeling, it
Yeah.
was like she just flips a
Yeah.
switch.
So
Boom,
that's
he's
why,
there. Same with Mark when he was channeling Pan
yeah.
and Dwakul. Um, it was just like an instant thing. He just kind of leaned back and closed his eyes, and then wham, they were there talking through them. So
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I didn't know if it was like that for everybody or
So Tracy Ralph, I think channeling can be very exhausting for people. At least that is my understanding. It is exhausting because the way I sense him is pressure in my head. And usually I can feel him around this area. But when it's archangels, I can feel the archangels on the crown of my head and then tinkling.
yeah.
And when you get too much of that, it is very tiring for the head.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Jet
Look, we've
tan.
got
Yeah.
Ivana had a question.
Does it take?
A long time to get the message, or is it pretty much instantaneous? Um, well, that's what you were just saying. It just takes practice,
Yes, for me,
right?
because I am still, that's why I was telling Ra Ha Sha, I don't feel ready. I'm not there yet. And
Right.
I wanted to wait, but he kept pushing. So I thought, well, if he's pushing me, then, you know, it's time for me to do it. Yes, I have to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
So before I go into training, and Diane always tell us that also, I drink a lot of water because
Yeah.
they
Because I'm
use
sure your body
water.
needs it to,
Yeah, they
because
use
you're
the
pulling
water
in
in
that
our body
energy.
as conduit.
Yeah. That's, Jake had an interesting, Jake is claircognizant. Um, so he just knows things. That's what I have. Um, I
Yes,
just, I just know things. I
yeah,
don't know how I know them. I just know them. And he's asking, is that sort of what channeling is like? Except it's your own voice you're hearing. You just kind of know.
yes,
Or do you
yes,
physically hear a voice? Like when Ra is talking to you, do you actually hear his voice? Or is it just like the thought is just there that answers your
two
question?
ways. Sometimes I hear the thought, like one time, I was just at the beginning when I was making video, you know, I I found it very difficult. So I was avoiding it, and then I heard him telling me, just go at it and have fun. But it's like that kind of voice where you hear it in the head very clearly.
Yeah.
And he told me that's what I have, clear sentient and clear cognizant. You see, I don't see spirits, but I can sense. I I have
Right.
seen him a few times when I asked him, and then with my mind's eyes, I could see him. But mostly I feel, and then just knowing. We don't know how we know, but we just know something. So the clairvoyance, that is not really my thing. I don't really see very much.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Ivana had another question. You were kind of already talking about it.
So
Have you
his
seen him?
presence. So that
Yeah.
was how I come to channel him, because when I was watching Ra Ha Sha live, I could feel the strong pressure around here. So one day at Ra Ha Sha live, I asked him if what I was feeling is his presence. He told me yes. So that was how I carried to my meditation. So in meditation, if I feel the same pressure around there, I know he is present. Like right now,
Right.
he's with me right now.
Right.
So what does he look like? It's interesting. But twice when I saw him, he showed me his head first. You know, E.T., they have a kind of big head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see his eyes. As he said, he has no hair, but big eyes. So big black eyes. When I
Oh,
saw him, the nose and the mouth is small. It's just this big head and then the big black
kind of like
eyes.
what they call the grays.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Slender. He's very, yeah.
Okay. Heather had a question. Um, does your voice
No,
change? Okay.
it doesn't. That's why I find it so difficult. So I have to learn how to. Usually I know it is him because I can feel the pressure. It's
On your third
concentrated
eye.
here,
Yeah.
but very concentrated. So that's when I know he's coming through. And when he comes through, a few times he spoke in my dialect, my
Okay.
Chinese
So he,
dialect.
he just sounds like you talking.
Yes, so it just sounds like me, except I
I've
know.
heard, I've seen channelers, I've seen some that nothing changes. And I've seen some that not only does their voice change, but just the way they sit, the way they hold themselves will change. So I didn't know if that was everybody did that or if it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Tracy, I've never channeled.
But I do see here.
You're no a
Wow.
medium. Okay. Yeah, I've been told I'm a medium, but I mean, I've seen ghosts in the past, but not to interact with me. I've just been somewhere where it was haunted and there were ghosts and I could see them and it was kind of freaky. So I didn't go back because it was kind of scary. I didn't understand it. I was much younger. Um,
You see, during my hospice work, I can feel. I can feel. I've seen the spirit of the deceased, the family of the deceased once. You know, he was standing beside me. But if I see, I mostly see like a big cloud. And but I sense sometimes when I am with the dying, I could feel like a presence behind my back. But
and
I don't really see.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I know when my husband passed, um, I didn't feel his presence at all. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like when he died, he left. It was like he was gone,
Yes.
and there was no lingering feelings. And I've never really strongly felt his presence. I've had him talk to me through other mediums and send me a message, which is kind of cool because he didn't believe in any of this stuff. He thought it was all crazy talk. It's just he would be. I'm I'm sure now he gets a kick out of watching me do it because he knew I believed in it, but he didn't. Um, and then when my mother passed away just before the lockdown hit, um, I can still feel her around me. There are times when I can smell her, just the scent. We all have our own unique smell.
Yeah.
If you ever have children, you'll know that each child has their own smell and smells different from the other one. Um, and I still smell my mom and I still feel her. Um, I catch myself, I will do and say things the way she did it without being conscious I'm doing it until suddenly it kind of, either my son or my brother will look at me kind of funny, like, that sounds like mom, or I'll catch it and I'll realize it. But it's also uh, I guess it was what did Heather says? I prefer
I
receiving
prefer
messages.
receiving messages. Yeah, this is each person's individual choice. So that was what Ra Ha Sha made very clear. He said the only reason that I go into you is because you want it and you expressly ask for it. And otherwise, he respect our decision and he doesn't do it unless we want it. And I do want it. So every time before I start my meditation, I ask him, to come in and take me over.
Right.
So before we go on for further, I just like to make it clear that because I can't hear you very well, I think
I'm
a few
trying to
times
speak
I talk over
slower,
you.
so it's I'm trying to speak a little slower because I know you're having trouble hearing me, and I keep leaning into the microphone real close. So I hope I don't blow anybody's ears out.
Oh,
But
it's my
Gertrude can't hear me, so
it's my second time, and I didn't realize that.
yeah, you'll have to invest in a pair of
Yeah,
headphones.
I was wondering why people wear those, and I thought because there are family
It
around
helps
here.
you it helps you hear a lot better,
Ah,
especially on an iPad.
yes.
It makes
Okay,
or if you're on your phone, makes a
so
big
that's
difference to put
yeah.
the earbuds in.
So that's
Um,
another item I have to get.
I know my mom used to she would kind of not really hum and not really whistle. It was kind of a combination of the two. And she's the only person I ever heard do it. And she would just, when she was, doing dishes or laundry or sewing, or when she was just doing something, she would start doing that sound. And I've now caught myself in the past year quite a few times doing that, sounding just like she used to sound. Not quite humming, not quite whistling, but something kind of in between. It's hard to explain. But when I catch myself doing it, it's like, okay, mom, I hear you. You're here. I get it. Um, I know that's her just poking me and saying, hey, I'm here. So it's always a comforting feeling when
Yeah.
it happens because I know she's here with me, and she and I were really close. And so let's see. Bye, Heather. Though she had to run, she couldn't stay
Yeah,
long.
bye.
Let's see. There was
Yeah,
another
Ivana
question
said
up
I
here.
can smell my dad and grandma who have passed.
Wait, somebody
For
else
me,
had a
my
question.
mother, my brother, my sister, they come to me in a dream. Usually in dream.
Are they still here or they passed away?
Ah,
Are they in spirit or are they still alive?
yes.
They're still alive.
Yeah. Oh
Your
no,
mom.
they passed already.
Oh, they've
Yeah.
already passed. Okay.
Yeah.
And
My parents, my eldest brother and sister. My late husband comes to me in dream also. So one day he came. I seldom dream, and one day he came to me in a vivid dream. So I found that strange, and I went. And I searched and I found his younger daughter passed away, and he wanted me to know that. So Ivana asked, "Do you know how many?" According to Diane, 20 million of them. I never really, I'll ask him next time exactly how many. But Diane said there are,
Yeah,
with
that's
Ra Ha Sha
what
is
I had
20
heard, that there
million.
was
I
it
don't
was
know
a
about the whole
large
thing.
collective. So
Yeah,
I guess they got a lot of people they got to talk to. So they need
yeah.
more.
So I
Um,
asked him to explain that, and he said the best way he could explain it is a school of fish, and he is like one with this big school of fish, and they move everywhere together. You know, they move in as one, but
right.
yeah, so that's 20
Okay.
million.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that there are so many. That's why
Dean, I saw
Diane.
you in the chat. Do you want to be a moderator?
Yeah.
I'll ask you while you're here. I'm trying to load up on mods. The trolls have been very active this week. It seems like every live stream that I've been on this week,
Yes.
they've had troll attacks.
Oh,
Where the
really?
Yeah, so I've been like trying to
Ah,
stock up on as many moderators as I can, so that when I get bigger, I'll have them in place. Um, let's see. Uh, Wendy's saying yes. I don't know who she's saying yes to. Oh, Wendy wants to be a mod. Is that right? Okay.
Wendy.
Very good. Okay. And Dean, you didn't answer, but guess what, baby? You're going to get wrenched. There we go. Okay. Now, thank y'all very much. For your questions and for posting Gertrude's channel. They've all been taking turns posting your channel in the chat so that everybody can go to your channel and subscribe. So, let's see. Where did he go? I'm starting to feel like Lisa now. You get a wrench and you get a wrench. Well, I'm trying to think of, I think we pretty much run through all my questions.
So, how did you first discover your gift?
I've known that I had gifts since I was 9. When I was 9 years old, my mother, myself, and my brother, we went to Florida to go visit family. And when we arrived, when we walked in the house, the first words I said was, "Oh, I've been here before." And everyone was like, "No, you've never been here." I was like, "Yeah, I have." And I proceeded to tell them where every room in the house was, whose room it was, what was in each room. I just knew. And my mom just looked at me and said, "Okay, you got the gift." Evidently, all the women in my family have some kind of psychic gift. Some are claircognizant, they just know things. Some are mediums, they see the dead. My mother used to get visions of when someone would die. She would see their death. She would see how they died, and she hated it. She pretty much ignored it when she could. She didn't like it at all because that was probably very scary. My grandmother, and this was We're talking back before caller ID and all that existed. My grandmother would be doing something and she would say, "Go get the phone. Your Aunt Ruth is calling." 5 minutes later, the phone would ring and it would be Aunt Ruth on the phone. Just she would know beforehand when someone was going to call and who it was going to be. It was really weird. And when I was around 4, I guess 4 or 5, if I was like by myself playing, like in my room by myself, I would hear who I thought was God talking to me. It was a very deep male voice that would just talk to me, and I would talk back. And sometimes somebody would walk in the room and go, "Shari, who you talking to?" And I'd tell them I'm talking to God. And they say, "Okay." And they leave me alone because they didn't hear anything. So I think they thought I was just kind of like praying out loud. But I was answering the voice I heard.
Yeah.
And this lasted until I was about 9 or 10. And then the voice just went away. I didn't hear it anymore. And I've never heard it again since. So I don't know. Maybe it was a special angel that was here for protection that I might have needed during those times. I don't know. When I was about 12, I discovered that I could lay down in bed. And if I got really still and thought about it, I could make myself leave my body and float on the ceiling. And I could look down and see myself laying in the bed. And I would just float on the ceiling. And it was a really weird feeling you would get, but it was fun. But I never went anywhere. I know people who could do that they could travel. I never left the room. I was always scared that if I couldn't see my body, I wouldn't be able to get back. So I just would just kind of hang out on the ceiling and watch myself sleep. And I did that for, I don't know, several years until I was about 16. And then I started getting migraines, and that went away. I couldn't do it anymore. So I have not been able to do out of body since. But when it stopped was when I started getting migraine headaches at 16. So, there's no telling what it was I was experiencing or why it went away. But it's like every time I would experience something and I would have it for a while, and then it would go away, and then something else would show up in its place.
Yeah.
So I would either just, after the out of body stuff, that's when it just became like I would just know things. I just knew them. Don't know how I knew them. I just did. And so when the lockdown hit, my mom had just died. And so I was very depressed. And I got on YouTube to watch funny stuff, anything to try to cheer myself up. And that's when I found Diane's video. It just popped up one day, and I was like, I didn't know people did political tarot. I've never heard of such a thing. And I started watching her. And from there, I found Sheila Celtic Tarot. And I started watching her. She made me laugh. She's so funny. And then from her, I found Linda G. And Linda's a riot. She is so plugged in, it's scary how accurate she is. And I started watching her, and then just started, as different people would show up, I would start watching them. And some of them I subscribed and I keep watching. And some of them I didn't seem to fit. So I just didn't bother with it anymore. But I've always known that I had gifts.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to call them or what to do with them. And then when,
Why, that's amazing.
and I had neck surgery 10 years ago. They fused 4 vertebrae in my neck. So I have a steel rod and all that. But it damaged my voice box when they did the surgery. And so now I have to constantly drink
Yeah.
to keep my throat wet, or else I get worse and nobody can understand me. It's irritating, but oh well. But I started watching all the videos on YouTube, and the more for a long time I just watched. I didn't chat. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just watched. And then one night I was watching Lisa Smith and Sharon Lee used to have a show called Nasty Women Tarot.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And I started chatting in there. And the more I chatted, the more feedback I got. Then I became a moderator. And then the next thing I knew, I'd click on somebody's live stream and I'd be blue and have a wrench. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't know I was a moderator over here. They just would plug me in when they'd see me, because they'd see me as a moderator on someone else's channel. So they'd make me a mod on theirs. And so I did that for quite a while before it was last summer when I decided I'm gonna try to do a channel. And we had a hurricane coming. I live in Louisiana on the Gulf Coast. We get lots of hurricanes.
Yeah.
But we had a big hurricane coming our way. And I thought, well, I'll do a video blog. Go out every day, like you see the crazy weathermen do, and stand in the weather and say, hey, we got a hurricane. Look, it's raining. And I was in the chat for Sheila, Spirit Messenger Sheila. She used to be Angel Feather Sheila. I was in her chat, and she saw me in chat, and she asked, Shari, is the hurricane coming towards y'all? And I responded in chat, yeah, I'm going to start doing a video blog on it every day. And Scott Allen, Spiritual Essence, was her guest. And he was like, oh, you have a channel? And I said, yeah, I don't have anything on it. I'm going to start with this hurricane. And he was like, okay, everybody go jump over to Shari's channel and go subscribe. Within 5 minutes, I went from 2 subscribers, myself and my son, to like 40 subscribers from everybody that was in Sheila's chat. I was like, wow, I didn't know it could happen that fast. And then I did the video blog for the hurricane, which wound up shifting and hitting somewhere else. It didn't hit us. I just started, I put up a couple of videos of my son. He's a musician, he plays music. And so I would catch him on the guitar and I'd put it on my channel. Or I'd put weather or the cat or the dog but I was scared to do tarot because I was learning the cards. I didn't really know them. I was trying to understand them and get to know them. And for about the last 6 months, I've been going on as a guest on other people's shows, getting comfortable with it and learning to read. I'm teaching myself how to do spreads now, like 3 and 5 car spreads. So it's just really interesting. I love it. I have so much fun doing it. I'm really having a good time. It's like, as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep going. If it stops being fun, then I quit.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I'm not perfect. I make lots of screw ups, but I see somebody that's interesting and like you, and I email them and say, hey, come on my show. Or, hey, if you need a guest, I'm available,
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll be in a chat on a live stream, and whoever is the host will say, hey, you want to come on the show? And I'll say, sure, send me the link. And so I've been learning to do it that way. I'm just taking baby steps a little at a time as I get more comfortable. And now I've got this channeling thing that started showing up. And I was like, okay, I want to learn more. I want to be able to do this too,
So when I get my earbud, we have to do this again.
Oh yeah, very much so. We'll
It is
do
so,
it on your channel too. We'll do a
yes.
show on your
Yeah,
channel.
I'll learn.
We can come back on mine.
Yeah.
It's all a
On
learning
my
curve.
channel.
I agree,
But
Tracy. We're all psychic.
yeah.
And the
But you
more
see,
it's just like anything, the more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the more fluid you get with it. It's kind of like speaking another language. If you don't talk in another language a little bit every day, it's a lot harder to learn than if you're around people who are speaking that language and you have to speak it too, just to communicate. I took Spanish for 2 years. I still can't speak the language. I don't get it. But French, I know a little bit of French because I grew up around it. Cajun French. Most of my relatives on one side of the family, they all spoke French first, and then they learned English when they started school. So when I was little, I was around a lot of French speaking. I've lost most of it now.
yeah.
But I'm slowly trying to relearn it because it's part of my heritage. So, I want to learn to speak it a little better. And so little at a time. And
Oh, that's really interesting. I think it's different when you have the gift from small. You see, I didn't have any of it. And I developed some of that only after I entered into contemplative prayer. So my psychic gift came from contemplative prayer.
which is just like
Meditation,
meditating.
contemplative prayer.
I've always thought they were the same thing or close.
Yeah, but until I was in my mid-20s, I never have any of those gifts.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to have those gifts from small.
It was interesting. I mean, I learned you had to be careful who you let know you could do that stuff, because other kids would make fun of you, tease you. Kids can be mean without really meaning to. Or their parents would look at you like, okay, there's something wrong with this kid. Maybe they shouldn't come over and play anymore. So I just learned to keep a lot of it to myself.
Yes.
But it was interesting because my family always acted like, no big deal. We've all got it. Just whatever. And so I didn't grow up thinking it was evil or bad. It just was something we did. Okay. And that was it.
But I can see now why the two entities wants you to channel them. You have that gift.
That's what Mark told me. I was like,
Yes.
I never knew that. So, and I'm looking to learn. Right now. Right now I'm trying to learn just to meditate. I figure if I can get 5 minutes in, I'm doing good. Then I can push for 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. You do it in little increments. Um, it's just to have the time. My biggest thing right now is I work full time.
Yeah.
So a lot of I'm at work all day long. I really only have free time on the weekends. So when I do a show, it's on the weekend. I go on other people's shows
Yes.
during the week, like in the evening, if they're doing a nighttime show. I'll hop on with them, but mostly I stick to the weekends because then I'm free to do it. When I first decided to start doing this, we had moved to our new apartment last summer, just before the hurricane. And when I started talking about really doing my channel, my brother put in the hardware so I could put curtains because I live my bedroom is in the living room.
Yeah.
So it's like the living room is a long rectangular room, and half of it is the living room and half of it is my bedroom because there's 4 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment. So we don't have a lot of space. So he put in the hardware. I know I've shown it to other people. So you could see the curtains are attached to the ceiling. And
Wow, he's talented.
and
He does a good
so
job with that.
yeah, he put up the stuff, and then I bought long the real thick thermal curtains because they hold sound better. And so I have curtains. When I go on a show, I close all the curtains. When I'm not on the show, I open all the curtains so it's all open, unless I want privacy, and then I close them. But it helps me be able to do this
Yes.
without everybody else having to worry about walking around behind me because they got to go right behind me to get to the kitchen.
Yeah.
So, and it keeps the curtains get closed. The dogs know, okay, mom's in timeout. Don't bother her. So the dogs pretty much stay gone, and they wait till the curtains open and then they come back in. And then we have a new kitten that we've had for about a month now. She's a little bitty thing. I don't know where she is. I think she's with my brother in his room. But she found us. It was one Sunday afternoon. It was getting ready to storm real bad. It's that time of the year. We get a lot of thunderstorms this time of year in the afternoons. And it was getting ready to storm. And my brother had gone outside for something. And he kept hearing this little mew, mew, mew. He starts looking around and he sees this little bitty teeny tiny kitten under the car by itself, just the kitten. No mama cat, no nothing. And so he scooped her up and he brought her in the house because it was getting ready to storm. And we put posters out in the neighborhood and went on Facebook and stuff, hit up everybody we knew in the area, whose cat this is. Nobody claimed her. Nobody responded.
Yeah.
And after about 3 days, we were all in love with her and decided, well, we're keeping her. So she's our little Shaminu, which is Cajun French for my darling kitty cat, is what it means. And yes, Jake, Cajun French is very different from other
Tracy
French.
Roth asked, I'm curious how all this impacted your life, the positive way. Is there any Oh, it has impacted my life completely. It just turned my life completely around. A year ago, I live a very comfortable, lazy, easy life, And then when so it started with when Ra Ha Sha asked me to start my YouTube channel. Then I get busy with it. And then when he asked me to do collaboration, that really I fought it for 2 months. And
Yeah.
so my life is completely different. The only plus is that I lost 8 pounds without trying to lose weight. And I tried for years to lose 3 pounds and I couldn't do it. Because, instead of having a leisure time, I go to work, I come back, I watch YouTube, munching. And now I don't really have time with doing videos and all this. The
Yeah.
positive way is I'm really happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It helps me clear negative energy, like, toxic friends, toxic, all that negativity. I clear it and I raise my vibration. And so almost always, I'm living in this happiness, bliss or high because Ra Ha Sha is from the sixth density. So he has a very positive energy. So I would say not so positive ways. The only not so positive way is, as I said, I fought it for 2 months. I suddenly realized I have to give up my easy going, boring in a way. I live like a hermit. And now all of a sudden he's pushing me into this collaborating.
Right. Except for YouTube. Yeah. I go to work. I come home.
Yeah.
I go to work. I come home. I don't go places. I mean, my son and I'll go, catch a movie together once in a while or something, but usually we just watch them at home. I've got HBO and I've got Sling and we've got the Roku, so there's almost always something streaming online for a movie. And
Yeah.
he's got one of those great big huge TVs that with all the sound equipment. So when you watch a movie, you feel like you're in the theater when I go in his room to watch a movie because it's surround sound like. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then since COVID, I've not been in any rush to go back out in public. I go to
Yeah.
the grocery store, I go to doctor visits, I go to the pharmacy, and I go to work. And that's about it. I don't go anywhere else. I'm very boring. I sit at home and I watch videos or I play computer games or
Yeah.
I sit and practice my cards. I
Uh,
literally have to shuffle my cards
hmm.
on a regular basis or I start feeling like I'm cut off, you know. Um,
Yeah. Tracy Ralph. Well, thank you. She said I look great.
oh, that's sweet, Tracy. She does. That's what drew me. The
Yeah.
first
Well,
time I
thank
saw
you for that.
Gertrude, she was chatting in the chat on a live stream. I think it was a live stream I was doing, or it might have been when I was just a guest. I don't remember. And I just, something about her just popped. I was like, oh, what an interesting person. She's talking about channeling. Oh, that's interesting. And then within a few weeks, suddenly I went a reading with Mark and he's telling me, no, you can channel too. And I'm like, I can. And then that's when I asked you to come on because it was like, okay, I have to learn more about this. So I'm very curious. And, but,
Well, when I get the earplug, we have to do this again.
oh,
You know,
without a doubt.
I thought I got my problem solved with the iPad, but I didn't realize that so many little things to learn.
Well, and it's especially when you're doing a show. I mean, it's one thing to be a guest. You can kind of relax with it and just answer questions,
Yeah.
read the cards, whatever you're doing. When you're a host, you have to try to keep up with the chat, talk to the guest, answer questions, make sure, that everything is going where it's supposed to go. And it can be very, I see why some people have a hard time. I'm a multitasker. Like I said, I'm used to doing 10 things at once. So it's not that big of a deal for me to be doing this, checking that, doing that, because I do it all the time. And, but I have so much fun with it. And I actually get energy from the chat when I'm in a live stream, whether if I'm just in chat or if I'm doing a show or if I'm a guest on the show. It doesn't, just the interaction with everybody in chat, it just fills me up with energy. And I just feel very, like you get pumped up, ready to go. And so it's just a really good feeling. And it makes me very happy to be here. And I've met so many lovely, beautiful people who are so kind and so loving and so friendly. And, if you stub your toe, you get 5 people that'll jump in and say, I'm praying for you right now, or I'm sending you energy to get well. And that's great. That doesn't happen in the real world. Most people don't want to hear your complaints when you go about, at work or out and about to places. They don't care if you don't feel good or if you stubbed your toe or, whatever. They don't want to hear it. They got their own problems. And I found the people in chat are just very loving and caring and very open and accepting. And it's made a big difference in my life. It really has. So, well, look, we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, which is a little bit longer than I meant.
You're doing a great job.
Well, I'm having fun. So,
me too.
I'm enjoying it. But I know that I've got to get ready for another live stream that's coming. Katie Moonchild from Katie Moonchild's World. It's her channelversary today, the anniversary of her channel.
Yeah.
And she's having like a big deal on her channel starting in just a little bit with different people coming on and off. And I had offered to help her with it, just whether if it's just hang out in the chat and keep the chat up and going or something else, whatever. Katie's a real sweetheart. I really like her. She's funny. So, I didn't want to keep you too long because I know it can be very exhausting when you're going through all of this. Sharon is asking if you do personal readings.
No, I'm not there yet. So I thought to myself, what is Ra Ha Sha going to push me to do next? And that was what I thought, personal reading. Yeah, no, not yet. So the next thing he might ask me is to do that, and I'll probably start fighting again.
I had promised Jake I was going to do his question.
Yeah, Tracy. Yeah, thank you, Tracy.
And he had emailed me the other day and asked me if I would do answer a question for him on the show. And I told him, yes, I would. Oh, thank you, Sharon, for putting Katie's channel up. And she's starting at 6. So I want to have time to go fix something to eat.
Yes.
Because I don't know how long it's going to run. So I want to try to eat first. I haven't eaten yet today. I'll take it back. I had half a tuna sandwich. The dog had the other half. But I'm
Well,
trying to see.
it's been really fun talking to you and hearing your story.
It's been really great talking with you
Yeah.
and hearing you. I mean, it gives me hope that I can do this, you know, because you make it sound like, yeah, it's, you put effort into it, but it's easy to do. You just have to want to do it and put the effort in. And oh,
Yeah, Sharon.
Sharon's awesome in the
Yeah,
chat.
thank you, Sharon.
A pendulum, yes or no? Okay, that's what it was. Okay, if the specific, I remembered you had said something about a yes or no. What did I do with? I took everything out but my pendulums. Wait, what did I do? Oh, they're in my purse. They were in my purse. Did I take them out? I just didn't realize it.
If the specific,
I think I might have taken them out. I just didn't realize.
wanted
What
to
did I
know
do with
if
them?
the specific thing I've been thinking about is accurate.
Right. And he wanted a pendulum swing. Oops. And as usual, I got everything together. Ha ha ha, I found them. Okay. Okay. A pendulum, yes or no? I just want to know if the specific thing I've been thinking about is accurate. Okay, here's the specific thing Jake's been talking about. Accurate. I'm getting a very definite yes.
Yes, mine too.
Let me see. Try this one. Okay. Specific thing Jake is thinking about accurate.
Yeah, mine also say yes.
Yep. My other one's saying yes too. So both of them are saying yes. So you're good to go. Tracy got a yes too. So you got others in the chat, don't forget, that are also readers. So Tracy, do you have a channel? You're always responding and you're always there. But I don't think I've ever seen a channel.
Yeah, Tracy got a yes as well. So there are three of
Yeah,
us.
that's what I mean.
Yes.
We have quite a few that are readers as well. Oh, she's not answering me now. You're welcome, Jake. Anytime, my dear. Because he did. Okay. Put your channel in the chat, Tracy. Because I did not know you had a channel. I've got a running list. I got a Word document. I'm so the admin, right? I've got a Word document I started with all the channels that I'm aware of. So that if I need to put somebody's channel in, it's right there. I can go in and do it.
Yeah.
So very good. Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna copy that. And I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna paste and go.
So what time is your other live?
I'll probably hop on about 5:30 with her. But she's going live at 6 o'clock. And so that's in about an hour and a half. And that'll give me time to go get something to eat and
Yes.
go to the bathroom and clear out energy from one thing to go into the energy of something else. That's something else I'm learning, is to kind of like clear out my energy from one thing to another. Even when I'm reading on a show, he said I've got a rattle now to help change the energy in the room. I've got the drum. For y'all that say, I don't have money to buy a rattle, you can do what I did. I took a medicine bottle.
That's such a good idea.
Rocks in it. I've got some amethyst and obsidian, a garnet, I don't know, some other stuff in there. And I put them in the medicine bottle. And my son had a dowel, and he just attached the dowel to the bottle. So I can dump what's in there out and put different crystals in if I want to.
Yeah.
And then just put the lid back on and screw it back tight. But he attached it on the bottom with a screw and a washer so that I can hold it up. I can do all kinds of, make different sounds. I'm going to get some material and kind of decorate it so it doesn't look like a medicine bottle. But I was doing the shamanic journeying class with Danny Shea Bathrobe Tarot for the last month.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he said that's important for shaman when you're doing shamanic journeys is to have a rattle or a drum or like a sound bowl, like a Tibetan sound roll or something that because the sound will change the energy in the room. And so the day that we were supposed to have a rattle, I was like, I don't have a rattle. I don't have a bell. I don't have a rattle. I don't have anything. Well, my son found the drum that I had bought for him, like I said, 20 years ago down in Mexico. And he dug it out of the closet. So I had the drum to beat on. And then I was like, well, I need a rattle. So I was just sitting there looking around and I thought, oh, look, I got an empty medicine bottle. I've got some gemstones because I have my bowls with my stones in them.
Yeah.
And I just put a handful of stones in it and said, okay, that'll work. And so when I got to class and I showed it to Danny, he was like, that's genius.
Yeah, it is.
I could make them up and sell them online. Who knows?
Yeah.
And but I want to really, really thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's been very interesting. I would love to have you come back.
Okay.
And talk some more.
Yes.
Maybe do more readings and stuff. Just like I would love to come on your show when you're ready. Do you have anything coming up that you're doing? Any shows with anybody? Are you going to be on any other shows anytime soon?
I think I have one Tuesday with Ali Martin, so I have to get that.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, you know. I thought I have everything taken care of, so now I have to get that back. Yeah.
I think Ali was the first person to have me on a show with Heart and Soul Connected.
Yeah.
She because she does the interviews and stuff. And she was the first one to ask me on air. And she's an angel. I just love her to death. And then when I started thinking about it, when I saw you, I thought, I'm going to pull an Allie and I'm going to get Gertrude over here and ask her some questions and learn about this. So I want to thank everybody for coming today.
I have to go. And Wendy said
I know we were
up
against some really big channels.
Wendy.
We were
Yeah,
riding against some big channels that were on live streams. And we got Hogarth and Diane and them. That'll be going live, what, in about 30 minutes, I think,
yeah,
in my time, for their show that they do every Saturday. I really enjoy Hogarth. He's hilarious. And so I just want to thank everybody. Thank you for coming on
yeah.
the show.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
liking.
Ra.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Please go to
Thank you,
Gertrude's
Sharon.
channel
Thank
and
you,
sign up,
Wendy.
become a member, become a subscriber, and like and share her videos. She's got some really good videos channeling Ra, the talking about it and doing some channels and stuff. That's what got my attention. So go check it out. You'll really enjoy it. And thank you again for everybody coming. Thank you very much, Gertrude, for coming on my show.
Okay, thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. And I guess we'll say goodbye for now.
Yeah, bye.
And we'll see everybody. I'll see all of y'all probably in an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
I'll see everybody later. So,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.